Welcome to the Museum After Hours at Worcester City Art Gallery and Museum. Tonight we're going classical with a twist. We have a beautiful flute performance, and then later we'll be making cocktails with our wonderful mixologist Tonic Bar. They'll be making us some wonderful cocktails that you can follow at home. And then we'll be guiding you through our latest exhibition, The Printed Line. First up, grab your cocktail shaker and let's make your first cocktail for the evening. Here's what you'll need.
Hi, my name's Tom and I'm from Tonic and I'm going to be taking you through a white lady today. This drink is based on lemon juice, white sugar, syrup, and orange liqueur and gin. This little egg, we'll get to that very shortly. So this drink actually originated from the Savoy. It's an American bar within the complex of the Savoy. First of all, we're going to start off with 25 ml of lemon juice. We're going to do 10 ml of sugar syrup. 25 ml of orange liqueur, otherwise known as triple sec. And then we're going to be doing a little bit larger amount of 45 ml of gin. If you have a little closer look in there, there is a line, or you do just a bit off the top, and that would be about 45 ml. Now we get on to the egg. Now there's a lot of different opinions on eggs in drinks, but the process of it is exactly the same as how you make a meringue. So what it does, it adds a velvety texture to the drink, which you don't get any taste from it. Actually, the citrus and the alcohol will technically chemically cook it as well. And eggs are so healthy these days that you're never going to get ill off them. So what we're going to do, we're just going to use the egg white. So we're just going to separate it, as so. And then chug that away. Definitely clean your hands first though. And then the first shake includes something which is called a dry shake. Make sure it's sealed on tightly, you definitely don't want any of that on you. A dry shake basically means you don't add any ice to it. This means you're just mixing the egg and the ingredients that I've said before, and this is where that velvety texture actually comes from. So you want to have a good hard shake for about 15 to 20 seconds. And what this does, will add the creamy texture head on it, which you'll see towards the end. And then just take it up, give it a tap, and we're just going to throw it between, make sure it's all nice and mixed. And now we go on to our ice shake. We're going to fill the bottom cup all the way to the top, and this is the process of actually making the drink the right temperature, and then that's how you want it to be served. Nice hard tap, and again. You don't want to shake too much as you will dilute the drink and actually add way too much like water to it, and we still want to taste our drinks. Next thing is, you definitely want to taste it first, just in case you haven't added the right amount of sugar or the right amount of alcohol, and it's always worth making sure it tastes right. Perfect. Then we're going to get a Hawthorne strainer and a fine tea strainer. All this is going to do is make sure there's no bits left in there, possible eggshells or anything, which we make sure there never is. And how we like to garnish our white ladies here is something called Angostura art. Angostura bitters is used in a lot of cocktails. This is an orange version that we have here as well, but we're just going to be using the classic today. So we're going to pipette it, add little droplets, and just swish through, make some of the parts. And there we have it, a white lady.
Now, sit back and enjoy the ambience and great acoustics of the art gallery with a fabulous musical performance.
This is an excerpt from Tambourine by Gothic. composer Sir Edward Elgar, the first of which is The Serious Doll. And now another piece by Sir Edward Elgar, Salut d'amour. This next piece is the Berceuse from the Dolly Suite by Fauré. This piece is an allegro from a flute sonata in A minor by C.P. Bach.
Ready for cocktail number 2? Here's the ingredients list.
Hello,
Hello, my name is Lee. I'll be taking you through a classic dry gin martini. Today we'll be using Tanqueray, which is a classic London dry gin, and dry vermouth. This is one of my personal favourites, and we always start by chilling the glass. This ensures that the drink stays cold as it's served straight up and not over ice. To begin with, we'll be using 50 ml of gin. You can use your personal favourite, but I would always recommend using a classic London dry. We add 50 ml into our stirring glass, and I'm going for a 5-to-1 ratio, so I'll be using 5 ml of, or 10 ml, sorry, of dry vermouth. This drink was made famous by the ever so popular James Bond movies. But in that movie, he actually orders a Vesper Martini, which is always shaken. But today we'll be stirring the drink to ensure that we get the correct amount of dilution. And the correct amount of dilution is always key for cocktail making. You don't want the drink to be too harsh or too strong, and equally you don't want it to be too diluted. And with a drink that only has 2 components, that is really key. So we stir that gently over ice, ensuring to taste as we're going, so that we know we're at the right point. I'm going to stir this for just a few moments longer. We discard the ice from the glass, and you'll see that your glass is now frosted. We'll take a single strainer and gently pour that into the martini coupe. This glass is quite nice to drink from, as it's very wide, so you'll be able to experience the aromas of the gin of your choice quite nicely. And to finish off with a dry martini, it can either come with an olive, which you would ask for a dirty martini, or my personal preference is a lemon twist, which we spritz over the top, twist, and then pop into the glass. And there we have a classic dry martini.
We now join our curator, Claire Cheshire, for drinks in the gallery and a chat about our newest exhibition, The Printed Line.
Hi, so my name's Claire Cheshire. I'm Curatorial Officer at Museums Worcestershire. I look after 3 of the collections within Museums Worcestershire, which is the costume, the numismatics, coins and medals, and also decorative arts. But the other part of my job is I'm in charge of the exhibitions programme. So it's a lovely job because we get to put on a variety of exhibitions throughout the year. Sometimes we do exhibitions based on our own collections, like our last exhibition, Welcome View, which had just fabulous paintings like the one you can see behind me, which we don't often get to bring out and show the wealth of our collection. But the other thing that I love to do is we're always looking for loans that we can bring in from other institutions and other exhibitions. Sometimes they're fully formed exhibitions that we'll just bring in, curated by various different organisations. And that's lovely because we can just got the scope to do such a variety of things. So for example, last year we went from sort of the understated elegance of the Ballet Russe through to the fun and nostalgic Star Wars toys exhibition. And that's just a lovely thing to be able to do and bring to the people of Worcestershire. So I think a lot of people think that we might sit behind desks a lot, sort of tapping away on a computer and sort of being very academic, but I think the bulk of my time is spent moving boxes around, loading vans, driving them around the city. So we're quite strong as a species. I absolutely love being back in the gallery. Throughout lockdown we tried lots of different ways to engage audiences in sort of new digital formats, but there's nothing quite like coming into a gallery and seeing an artwork or an object in person. It's a very different experience, and that is something that I'm delighted that we are now able to do again now we're coming out of lockdown. It was a very interesting experience working out how to install an exhibition with social distancing measures that we had to take into account. For example, the painting behind me is a very large painting. You need at least 2, sometimes very heavy ones take 3 people to hang, which is obviously very difficult, adhering to a 2-metre distance. Luckily, our team of technicians are amazing, and they just solved all the problems and mounted a beautiful exhibition for us. It was lovely to work with them and see how they did things. So our next exhibition is called The Printed Line, and it's coming to us from the Arts Council. It's a wonderful exhibition that kind of showcases artworks from throughout the 20th century right up to the present day. It looks at the various different ways over the years that artists have exploited the printed line, and the various different techniques they've used in their printmaking, sort of crosshatch lines, woodcuts, copper engravings, all sorts of different techniques. There's a lovely video that comes with the exhibition that shows a lot of these techniques in practice, so that's well worth coming to see as well. There's some big names that are coming. There's a Picasso, a Matisse, a David Hockney, just a wealth of well-known but also lesser-known artists that it's just come together, and there's sort of bold prints, abstract prints, very, very fine, beautiful, detailed figure drawings. It's just a wonderful exhibition that is a bit different, and I think people will like it a lot. I hope so. My favourite object from the Printed Line exhibition that's coming in is it's a print called The Great Bear. It's by Simon Patterson from around 1992, and it's essentially an exact copy of the London Underground. The artists work with London Underground Limited and the cartographers to create an exact copy, but I say an exact copy, it has some really interesting subtle differences to it. So when I saw it at a previous exhibition, I spent a lot of time studying it. And I think it will be quite a popular exhibit in this exhibition because it is just a little bit different. I think people will like it a lot. As the costume curator, I absolutely love our costume collection. It's kind of a hidden gem within the museum that I'm quite keen to make it more, get more people to know about it really. We've got one costume on display in the Museum and Art Gallery, but in our stores we've got many, many more, and it's my sort of goal to get as many of them out as possible.
Thank you for joining us at Museum After Hours. We hope you've had a most wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon. In the meantime, it's cheers from me.